Curse of Chucky. It goes one way from here now. What the fuck is this? Once again, this is not Seed of Chucky level of disturbing. But what the fuck is this movie?
Is when the franchise starts to drop.
Really drop.
Rapidly.
Once again, Don Mancini is in the directing seat, and he's the writer, of course. And this is not a good movie. This is a fucking boring movie. Nothing happens. So, first of all, Chucky doesn't speak until 45 minutes into the movie.
That's one thing that was stupid that I noticed too, was when the fuck was Chucky going to play a role in the game? And it took, I know that you timed it, and it was 45 minutes. Holy hell. Is this not a Chucky movie?
No. Like at that point, yeah, Chucky have killed people, but we don't really see it. Like it's because he killed the mom in the beginning.
Yeah.
But let's just go like chronologically with this movie.
Okay.
So this movie starts off with Nica, who is in a wheelchair, and there's knocking on the door, and the mom says, "Nica, can you open the door?" And at that point, I'm like, what the fuck kind of mom is this? What a bitch! Like, your daughter is in a wheelchair and you can't even open the door when you're even closer. But then we do learn that the mom was mentally ill, so fine, whatever. I take the bitch comment back. But then we see like the mom committing suicide, or at least that's to believed. This is weird because when Nica discovered the mom, we see the blood on the floor, and the blood has like perfect reflection.
Yeah. It was really shiny.
Does blood really have that sort of reflection? I don't know. That looked fucking weird. What a weird shot. Probably super cool on paper.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
No.
Didn't work.
No. It looked, you could tell it's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she gets a visit from her relatives or her sister and her family. And the first thing I did react to was that when Alice, the daughter, went to the bathroom, she didn't wash her hands.
No, I remember you were like, "Please wash your hands."
Yeah, that's nasty. And then she kept touching things. Ugh! Ugh! Nasty. Nasty. You know what I call that?
What?
A dumpster baby. If my kid doesn't work, ow!
No, I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Then we have the dinner scene that I would call it. So the whole family is gonna have dinner, and Nica and Alice is making chili. Chili. What do you call it?
It's chili.
You just call it chili?
Yeah.
Okay. They're making chili. And of course, we see that Chucky pours some rat poison in one of the chilies. First of all, when he's done that, the zoom in on the chili lasts fucking forever. That was a long ass zoom. I swear to God, it was 1 minute of slowly zooming in on the chili.
Yeah.
Super weird choice. And then we get to the dinner scene, and I'm gonna say the concept of the dinner scene is amazing. Because if you think about it, this scene is about this group of people eating chili, but one of the chilies are poisoned, so that means that the person that eats that chili is gonna die. We don't know who has that chili. That's the tension of the scene.
Yeah.
But there are some things missing. For example, I don't fucking care about anyone. And second of all, I knew that it was a priest that was gonna die, because everyone else has a role to play. because they're family, and then you have the priest.
Those are
So
not
there isn't really any tension there.
But I will say that dinner scene was so disturbingly long.
Yeah.
Especially like it zooming in on them eating.
Yeah, that was fucking disgusting.
Like who cares? I don't want to see their mouths eating the chili.
Nasty.
Yeah.
But also, like, the thing that they kept, like, acting like... And that did that, like, 2 or 3 times or something.
Yeah,
And
then the dad was
I
like,
know
"Yeah,
I
the
didn't
chili
believe it.
tastes weird.
Yeah, so maybe a mix of bad acting and also the fact that the whole setup wasn't good. Because a scene like this, for example, if this was Quentin Tarantino that made this scene, I swear to God, this scene would be fucking nerve-wracking. But it wasn't, because I don't give a fuck about anyone. And also, it was so obvious who was gonna die. But it's a scene that should have worked much better, but it doesn't. But I liked it.
They tried to throw you off, but it was easy to tell.
I commend the effort that he tried,
Yeah.
but failed. The weirdest thing about this movie, though, and this one I don't understand. So, Nica, also fun fact: Nica is played by Fiona Dourif, which is Brad Dourif's real life daughter. So they act together in this movie, even though he's a doll with a voiceover. Fun, cool. So Nica, she makes the discovery that Charles Lee Ray is possessing the doll. He is Chucky. This is something that we as an audience have known for about 15 years now.
Yeah.
So the revelation that the doll is Charles Lee Ray doesn't really work, because if that would have come to a shock as to us as an audience, fine. But this is a revelation to a character, and setting that up as something like dramatic or like a twist or something like that, it doesn't work, because you're supposed to make a scene and a concept and a plot and a story to the audience, us. So when you spend a lot of time, and this is a typical thing that I feel writers do wrong, they make a whole like big part of a story being the character realizing something we already know, and it's so fucking stupid and a waste of time.
Yeah, it was a dumb reveal moment.
Yes.
It wasn't needed. We didn't need it.
No.
They could have done something else with that little 2 minutes that they had.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, and I probably shouldn't talk about it because I'm not a writer myself, but at this point you do start to see that the writing is lacking. Even though this is the same writer that did Child's Play 1 and 2 and Bride of Chucky, there is a lot of variety in the quality of the writing.
Yeah.
And Seed and Curse of Chucky, wow.
Disturbing.
Very disturbing. And then I'm just gonna mention fast, like when they're trying to flee the house, they did the whole like flee scene in slow motion. I just felt that was weird, but whatever.
A lot of scenes in this movie I feel were unnecessary or not needed, especially with the scene where the husband was like showing her that he put a doll or a camera inside of Chucky. And then he's like watching, and you see everything, like he's fast forwarding, catching his wife with a lesbo, and then seeing every other freaking scene, and then seeing Chucky behind him. I feel like he was so slow to react that I just wanted to slap him.
Yeah.
It was a dumb scene.
The whole idea was dumb.
Yeah, we didn't need it. It wasn't needed.
Yeah.
No point in it.
I also feel like that whole like story with Barb and the nanny and her husband and like that triangle, that I think we were supposed to be led to believe that the husband was having an affair with the nanny, and then it ended up being her. Like, was that even necessary? Like,
it was really dumb too. Like I said, I feel like they threw a lot of fillers in this one.
I was about to say
and
that
then
it's
it felt
just
like
to fill the
they're
runtime.
like, hey, let's just put a lot of dumb scenes to hopefully get these your whole little sex equal blah 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 blah.
Don't you remember my rule?
What's
Tell me the rule.
Unnecessary sex equals.
No, yeah, but do the math.
I don't know.
Do the math.
I don't remember it.
I've shown you so many times.
No, once.
Do the math.
You only showed it to me once. It's like sex equals 45 minutes of attention or something like that.
Fucking hell! You never pay attention, do you? Ow! But also, I'm pretty sure at some point, doesn't someone knock Chucky's head off his body?
Oh yeah, it was the daughter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they forget that Chucky is basically a human inside
now?
there?
Yeah, I was wondering that because his head comes off like a doll.
Yeah.
Comes off.
Yeah, and he puts it on again.
Yeah. How? So you totally completely changed your story, your own story.
That is so weird. And this is once again, it's the same writer. Like
Yeah.
he must have been drunk or something when he made this movie.
And the last one.
Yeah. Wow. But also, the ending, very confusing. It ends. Let's just skip to the end, and that is we see a scene where Chucky is sent to a girl's house. I think it's to Alice's house. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he convinces her to let him possess her.
Yeah, by playing hide the soul.
Yeah, and that's how it ends. So we then assume that he possessed the girl.
Yeah.
But then something like this must be the worst decision ever, because they have a post-credits scene in this one. Who the fuck would sit through the credits in hopes of a post-credit scene in
Not a lot of people.
Curse of Chucky?
I would not. Especially not with this one. I would never sat through it.
And you can't put an important scene in a post-credits in a shitty movie like this.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know this. Mm-hmm. So we actually did start watching the next one. Mm-hmm. And when we saw that beginning, we were like, what the fuck did we miss? What is happening? So apparently there is a post-credit scene showing that Chucky is trying to... Chucky visits Andy from Child's Play 1 and 2 and 3. And Andy is prepared to shoot him in the head with a shotgun. But that would also mean that the ending that we saw is not canon, because I think this movie has different endings, 3 or 4 or something like that. But at the same time, I think I read that the ending that we saw was like the real ending, and then the other one was like alternate endings.
Which is kind of weird, and to me it confuses me.
It's so confusing.
Yeah.
So confusing. Unnecessarily confusing. Because this whole ending and the post-credit scene, unnecessary.
I feel like the reason why they did that was because they were confused. They didn't know how they were going to start the next one. So they were like, oh, let's just add a couple of endings so that we can decide whether or not we want to start that other one this way or that way.
But that's super stupid if one of the endings is canon and will drive the story forward.
Yeah.
That will confuse a lot of people, including us.
We were confused.
Very confused. But that's the end of this one. And once again, this is a pooper scooper. This is bad.
I'm talking to Skeletor. He scared me.
Oh. Anyways, yeah. The movie is bad. I don't have anything else to say.
Me neither.
It's a downhill especially from Bride of Chucky to Seed and now Curse. It's starting to drop so bad. But we have one more movie though. so it can end on a good note. So let's just until next time, we're gonna finish off Cult of Chucky, and we'll come back with our opinions on that one. Let's hope and pray it's a good one.